So just lately, I've made a couple of videos about this fella, okay, who needs no introduction, and poked a bit of fun, had a bit of a laugh, you know, nothing spiteful, nothing malicious, nothing personal, just a bit of banter. You know, he's out there, you know, so he knows he's up for it. He knows he's fair game, and I suppose he's bothered himself. That's not the point, however, of this video now. The point of this video is to address some of the things that Muslims have said about him in the comment section, in the videos, okay? For the most part, Muslims just had a bit of a laugh with it, you know, a bit of a joke. There was quite a lot of Muslims that made some positive comments about him, you know, similar to may Allah guide him, may Allah, you know, guide him to Islam and things like this. But there was, nevertheless, some comments that were quite derogatory and unnecessary and that crossed the line, such as, I'm not going to pick him out one by one, but such as Allah will never forgive him, he can never become Muslim, and they would never accept him, this type of thing. Okay, this is not permissible as Muslims. This is not allowed. This is not allowed for us to limit Allah's mercy. If Allah ever did decide to guide Tommy, then we would accept him like we would anybody else. We would accept him with open arms, because Allah's choice, Allah guides who he wants to guide, and we're happy with his decision. Allah's knowledge is infinite and ours is insignificant. So we cannot be limiting Allah's mercy like this. We can't. We cannot take the position where we wouldn't be happy with someone that Allah's guided. We can't do that. Now, if I was going to give some advice to the people that writ those type of messages, I'd have to make some assumptions first, which is never a good idea, you know, to make assumptions about people you don't know before you give them advice. But I have to do that because I'm not in a position where I know these people. I'm going to assume they were young men. I'm going to assume they were young Muslim men. I'm going to assume that they were talking with emotions and anger, okay, when they were texting these things. Well, firstly, you never hate your enemy. It affects your judgment. Secondly, if you're a man, you should never be showing your emotions too much, especially the anger, because men that show their anger are predictable. And if you're predictable, you're easy to manipulate, okay? So that would be my advice to those particular young brothers. Secondly, that brings me on to my next point. Is Tommy Robinson actually the enemy? Is he our enemy? Well, no doubt, for sure, he said some very derogatory and untrue things and spiteful things about Islam in the past. I think he's changing his narrative now. I think, to be honest with you, Tommy Robinson has realized, or is realizing, that he's been fighting the wrong battles for a long time. You've been realizing that, Tommy, that you've been fighting the wrong battles, mate, okay? For a long time, okay? And he's starting to realize now that there's bigger enemies out there and we have a mutual common ground. So does it make him our enemy, is the question. Yeah, I suppose people that talk like this about the Prophet and our religion can be considered an enemy, but are they the type of enemy that me personally need to be worried about? Not really. I don't really think I need to worry about him or people like him, because they've been around for more than 1400 years saying the same stuff or worse stuff and worse people, and it hasn't affected Islam. It hasn't stopped it. It hasn't been a problem for us at all, you know? You should never really fear the enemy in front of you, because you know where they are. They're there. They're in front of you, okay? Tommy's not lying. He's not a politician. Okay, he's not saying one thing over here, saying another thing over there, and doing another thing over there. Okay, he is what he is. He's a wolf in wolf's clothing. He's telling you he has a problem. He's telling you what the problem is. We can work with that. Okay, no problem. At least he's there. Okay, so the enemy in front of you isn't the problem. It's the enemy behind you. As Muslims, that we really need to be concerning ourselves about. You know, the ones that look like us, walk like us, talk like us, and pray next to us. Them ones. You know, the ones that will try to convince you to worship or give parts of the worship to other than Allah, or attributes things that belong to Allah to other than Allah, or bring newly invented things into the religion, innovations, or modernize and reform our religion. You know, these people here are far more dangerous and negative to us as Muslims than someone like Tommy, who's standing right in front of you. You know, so if I was gonna, you know, be worried about an enemy or an adversary to Islam or something like this, then they would be the ones that I would be concerned about. And as for Tommy Robinson, the likes of him, I still say the same thing. May Allah forgive him. May Allah guide him. You know, as Muslims, we want good for people, no matter what they say. And if he ever wanted to get on camera with me, I mean, my channels are not monetized, so I wouldn't be talking to him for views or not monetary reasons, at least. Anyway, I believe now he's got something to say and there's some common ground that we can definitely work on. Let's work on what we can agree on. That would be an interesting conversation. He's from Luton, I'm from Luton. He's the same social economic working class group, if you like. I don't like keep saying that, but we're the same sort of people. Well, you know, we're the same sort of, we're on different sides of the fence, obviously, but we have the same type of upbringing and culture and everything else. So that'd be an interesting chat. Hard to get hold of, mind you, these days. Everyone that I knew that knows him don't seem to be talking to him anymore. Anyway, I'm just wanting to address the comments that were made about him by Muslims on my channel. And I feel that, you know, just because they're saying horrible things, I had horrible comments made to me from his supporters, it doesn't mean that we follow that conduct ourselves. You know, we're supposed to hold up to a higher standards anyway. Anyway, people, have a blessed day. Peace.